Hi, everyone. Today is Saturday, September the 27th of 2025. And how's everyone doing today? I'm just going to wait for the room to get filled up a bit. Everyone will get their notifications that I am live now. And hopefully we have better than ever sound and video because I now have a Sal booster. And I got a good report today. I was on with the Patreons early. And actually, while I'm waiting, I'm going to put my address in here, patreon.com, SamJam. I'm going to be doing an all members, which means, you can sign over, go over to Patreon, and you can sign up as a free member, and you'll be included in the live stream that I'm having on Tuesday. So a bit of an opportunity, try before you buy. Nice to see you all. We've got Red. Is that Red Drummer? You know what? I'm going to click on that and I'm going to do Control plus. So we'll have nice big lettering. All right. Hi, Sam. Freebie here. Oh, it's Freebie. But you saw me holding drumsticks before I changed the profile name. So that's no surprise to you. Oh, isn't that funny? I forgot about that. Yeah. But yes, I know you as Freebie. So you can change it back if you want. I'm like, just one name, please. I tell the Patreons, like, whatever name you have in the Discord rooms, then if you could keep that name for the live streams as well, just because I'm having a hard enough time keeping track of everyone as it is. I'm trying to. All right. Good. Starting to get some people trickling in. And this here, I've been keeping up on my Discord. I've been doing a good job. You can see the little red dot there. That's when someone goes at Samantha Jane, because you can ask me questions there. I'm on that every day. If the room's lit up, that means there's been some comments posted. But you can see I'm doing a pretty good job staying on top of things because, this is my hobby, my daily activity. Yeah, look at how coordinated I am. Anyways, and then that there is one of the Sam Jammers who has direct messaging privileges. But I have different tiers based on your Sam Jam needs. It starts at $17 and it goes up to $100 a month. We have a benefactors tier, but that's, mainly people that just want to throw in a certain amount of money every month and really support the channel at a higher level for different reasons. Nice to see John Mason's in the house too. Speaking about keeping the same name. So I know who all is here. And Danny Boy. Yeah, Danny Boy is ready for some truth. I was asked on Thursday when I do What's Trending twice a week. And the Psychic Nerds Advanced group gets included with that. They can be a part of the live stream chat. And I was asked what Pete Hegseth had planned, because I think it was during the live stream that it was posted, that either that or when I was doing Ask a Medium on Wednesday. I can't remember which one. But that all of the generals, they were to come in person. None of this was going to be done online. And I said, oh, well, they're going to deal with the domestic terrorism threat that is, right in the United States. I said, the federal buildings are being attacked by people, by violent protesters, and there's going to be law and order restored in the United States. And sure enough, that's what's happening. And people are backing right off too, because they're getting arrested or there's the threat of being arrested. And I'm still seeing that people are getting fired from their jobs for posting like these really terrible things about a man who was killed in front of his wife and one of his children, just a little bean. I hope she doesn't remember that. His wife will certainly remember that. And all of those young people who had flocked to listen to Charlie Kirk, and someone just murdered him. Yeah. Well, I hope that's the last time anything like that happens in the United States. And I do think the roommate is involved a lot more than what he's claiming to be. I think that a lot of those messages were staged. Oh, I planned on taking this to the grave for the rest of my life. I didn't believe that. they already had that discussion that if he got caught, that they would have a conversation that was documented, and that he would make sure that his boyfriend, his lover boy, didn't end up in jail. But I think he's going to get 5 years. He knew about it. He commiserated. You don't have somebody go to a family dinner and blab about how he felt about Charlie Kirk. A bunch of lies. I don't think he watched anything that Charlie actually did. And kept it from his roommate, his boyfriend, his lover boy. I don't think so. Yeah. Do I look like I was born yesterday and stayed up all night? Well, the FBI just kept him talking anyway. So we'll see what comes of that. And I didn't really weigh in on it early on. I was just watching it unfold. I was busy. Yeah. Nice to see you too, if you know. And sorry, my pronunciation with your name is, you must be from around Vietnam, maybe? The NGO last name kind of gives it away. Count de Money. That's a great name. Nice to see you. I Boofus. Oh, from Australia. I made sure that I set up this live stream so it would be later on in the day in North America. And it's around, it's 5 p.m. in California. I have a lot of members who are in the Western United States, Canada. It seems to be more woo-woo central. And I did notice that percentage-wise that there was a lot of people from that part of the United States. And I specifically chose the later time because it is not the middle of the night in Australia. And there's a lot of stuff that's going to be going down in Australia soon. And I want to be able to answer questions for my peeps there. I'm doing an all members, which is for free on Tuesday, but you have to go over to Patreon. So just scroll up in the chat and you'll see that I have a link there where you can go over to Patreon and just look for the free members tier, and you can just click on that and join. It doesn't cost anything, and and set up notifications. You'll be notified. You can register over on Crowdcast as well, and you'll be notified when the free member starts. And that's going to be a later one on Tuesday as well. Like I said, I specifically chose later times because I'm trying to get more involvement with my peeps over on the other side of the world in Oz, just where we have stuff coming for them. It's starting to happen now, the Everything All at Once. For those of you who don't know, we did the math on pretty much when we're out of the Everything All at Once. I call it, we're entering the rapids. Man, I called that right. I was like, we're entering the rapids now, the Everything All at Once. And it's like, when are we going to be out of it? Well, based on the slap heard around the world, which I felt was the pendulum swinging all the way. So it was like here and then swinging up, and the slap heard around the world. That's when Will Smith strutted up on stage during the Oscars and slapped his friend Chris Rock across the face. Destroyed his career. Got a 10-year ban. And I felt, you know what? That's the pinnacle. That's like the pendulum has swung. That's as maximum as it's going to get. And now it's the halfway point where it's swinging back, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Probably sometime before that, it would have been the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. A lot of people were like, oh, you know what? I wasn't sure before, but now I know. They're trying to kill him. They're trying to kill him because he's going to expose them. And he was right. They didn't really want him. They wanted all the Americans, and they wanted their fleecing game to continue. And then came DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. Yeah. Oh, nice to see you, Ignacio from Lizelle, Ontario. And yes, Libby Gillette, you must be in Australia, making it for a live stream, or evening times in North America is better for you. Yeah, because a lot of my live streams that I do over on Patreon, Not all of them. I do make sure that I have a couple a month that are at the later time. We do Rudy Psychic. Actually, this Wednesday, we have Rudy Psychic Meetup. And that one's later on. It's like 5 p.m. So that's, I think, 10 a.m. in Brisbane, Australia. So at least it's not, in the middle of the night. And of course, everything's available on the replay over on Patreon. So even the free members, if you can't make it to the actual live stream, because when you go in ahead of time and you can post your questions and then even be part of upvoting them, just kind of to give you an idea what it's like to be part of the Sam Jam. A really big part of that, though, is the Discord channel that I spend a lot of time on there. This is the rooms that we have. I'm trying to, there we go. And the little red dots, that's when somebody does at Samantha Jane. So like if I'm in a rush, like if all the rooms are lit off, if I was goofing off and waited till the end of the day and all the rooms are lit up, because we have a very active Discord channel, I will, it's like it's before bed or something and I only have 20 minutes. I'll hit the ones with the red dots first. Yeah. All right. Oh, someone's in from Poland. Thank you for hanging out. Piotrek. Martha's here as well. And David. Yeah. Well, we just started, David. I'm just really waiting for people to trickle in. We're up to 108. And if you wouldn't mind giving me a like, I like to be optimistic about our live stream. Now, no personal reading questions today. I kind of have that rule as well. On today, I had the all tiers combined with the weekly crypto review because it is an all tiers event. So everybody who is a Sam Jammer for the $40 and up, they all get to attend a live stream that I do once a month. And also the weekly crypto review is every Saturday, but it's an all tiers event. So I just combine the two because I found I was separating both of them and then I was getting a lot of the same questions. So I was like, oh, it just makes sense. Once I go on that blab ride, no reason to get off the surfboard and then start paddling again. I can get more done. Oh, great. We've got Karen from Alberta and Count the Money. Let's see. Hi, Sam. Your thoughts on how Theta and T-Fuel will run over the next 6 months. I always said that we would get back up to the $10 again. So if you missed it before at $10, you will have another chance to get that again. Yeah. So you just missed it last time. There's a bunch of other coins that are going to be taking a lot of that new money that's coming in. So I don't think that Theta will ever see anything more than, $10 to $15 again. Yeah. But that's okay. If you got it at 10 to 15 cents, you're doing all right. Nice to see you, Pascal. Hope to see you on Coffee Chat tomorrow. I got that posted there. So it's in the Sam Jam here under meetups. And I just take a little picture of me with my coffee. Coffee Chat. Manana. That means tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, Tarzan made it. And Foodie is in the house as well. And let's see, Libby Gillette, you'd like to know, for the people of Australia, which Asian countries do you see good for Aussie to escape to with their cost of living costs? Geez, you know what? Singapore is really super expensive. But I would tell you to stay away from Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines. I know that Taiwan always seems to suffer with the threat of war from China. But, I just don't see that happening. I don't. And I think for a certain point that Vietnam should be okay. I'm not really sure about Vietnam. It's not Bali. A lot of people are like looking towards Bali, and I don't feel like Bali has any problems with upheaval and violence like they're going through. Because remember, it's like this, right? As the worldwide economies start to melt down, the safety becomes an issue. So if you're not any of these countries that are USA adjacent, like eventually things will turn around in Canada in about 2 to 3 years. Once they get rid of their moron prime minister and start doing what they should be doing, they need to get on board with the U.S. and stop blaming Americans for all their problems. I can say that because I'm a Canuck. That's a slang for what we call ourselves, the Canucks. And Mexico, of course, but the American military will take care of the cartels. They're working on it now, and that's going to free the Mexican people to be able to participate in the golden age that's coming to the United States. And you can see that Pete Hegseth has ordered all of his military personnel to be deployed to the different cities, and they're going to go. Like they're going to go to as many places as they need to in order to take care of this domestic terrorism that's going on. And it's great that they've mentioned that they're going to be dismantling the people who are funding it. You can tell George Soros is nervous. Yeah, they'll get him and his son. And it doesn't matter where they go in the world. They can get them. They are the American military. You don't mess with them. I wouldn't. Yeah. All right. Nice to see you, Dean. Glad you were able to make it. And so I was talking about Bali, where I didn't really feel, I think out of all the places, like if I was Australian, gosh, see, I try to go to the other part of the world because there's so many more places that are better. There is a few countries in South America, like Uruguay is pretty good. Argentina is on its way, is an up and coming. Belize, if you only speak English, that's maybe a place you want to consider. El Salvador is very safe now, and you can still get beachfront there at a reasonable price, I think. And Costa Rica is not too bad. And of course, there are just different pockets of Mexico right now that it is safe. Stay away from the cartel places. And we don't, when we're driving around in Mexico, we don't drive it cross country, even though it would be quicker to get to where we need to go, to just do cross country across the mainland of Mexico. So we do add like probably another 4 hours to our trip by going straight up the Baja and then going east once we cross at Mexicali. But I would rather do that than be driving with my kid and my 2 dogs. Yeah. Somebody's got to drive the dogs, and I'm the only one who speaks enough Spanish to do that. So hubby flies. I'm like, nah, you're on the plane. I'm driving. We don't have room for you in the car because we got 2 big dogs, right? Yeah, it's okay. I'm always up for a road trip. It's lots of fun. Let's see. So yeah, Libby, Gillette, I know it's hard to be so far away from home, but man, oh man, I'm telling you, there's not a whole lot on that side of the world that I'd be preferring. I mean, India will do all right economically, but again, who wants to live in India? I know one of our Sam Jammer friends, he's been in India for 10 years. But it's definitely a totally different culture. And I kind of listed off all the countries there, but there's a lot of countries. Again, they're on the outskirts and they burn first. It's sort of like America's here, and then Canada and Mexico are USA adjacent. So the countries that are on the outskirts, like they're, you know what? Probably Ukraine once the war is handled there. And one of the blabs that I had, I can't remember who posted it. One of the Sam Jammers asked me if silver would get to $50 first, or would the war in Ukraine be settled? And I said, you know what? I couldn't figure it out. I was like, you know what? I think about the same time. And I think silver at that time was only $42. And you know how long it takes silver to move like anywhere. And it's almost like $47 now. I was like, woohoo, we're on track, timing wise. So yeah, I see silver on the upside, $50 real soon. One of the top end for silver during the everything all at once was going to be around $150. But yeah, I know that came a long way. It's almost like 10 times from what most people have paid for it. And gold is doing pretty good too, not too shabby. And Debbie wants to know how important is it to own Bitcoin in the future? I wouldn't necessarily be interested in Bitcoin. I would be interested in some of the other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Solana, Chainlink, Doge, different ones. There's a lot of really great technologies out there, and there's ones we haven't even heard of yet, the up and comings. So, I mean, Bitcoin really was the one that started all of it. There were other cryptocurrencies as well that have come and gone. And I'm not saying that Bitcoin's ever going to go away. I'm just saying that when the money's coming in, they're going to be favoring other cryptocurrencies that can do more things. And so Bitcoin will start to go down because it's not going to be the favorite one anymore. And other cryptocurrencies are going to move up. And it's really about functionality and support. And that's why you should spread your bets. All right. Hi, Sam. Martha says, is crypto going to crash soon in September? No. Nope. The only time that I see cryptos being interfered with is when there is a natural disaster or a market downturn that has nothing to do with cryptos. So the days of FTX, it's not going to be anything like that ever again. You know, if there's any hacks or anything, it's going to be like just very localized to whatever the coin or token is or institution that's been hacked. But yeah, it's going to be natural disasters, and I do see there will be a time that it's going to be unveiled that many of the companies that are listed on the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones, they've been cooking their books like to a pretty significant level. And that's going to cause a huge crash in the market. And unfortunately, people who are in cryptocurrencies also have money that are in the stock market. So in order to save because they don't always own everything, they do these shorts and they do longs and shorts and puts and yeah. So naturally, when the crypto market, even if it's running, if there's a big crash in the Dow, people are going to try to save what they have to weather the storm, and they'll sell off some of their cryptos. So that causes that market to pull back as well. But you know that we're going to 100 trillion, and it's not going to take 10 years. I mean, other people were saying it was going to take 10 years, and I was like, nope. It definitely is not going to take 10 years. Let's see. Yeah. Libby Gillette, it's about 10 a.m. here. Yeah, I know. I looked it up because I was like, okay, what's a good time where they don't have to get up in the middle of the night? So if you're not over on my Patreon yet, just trip on over to my Patreon, which is it's /SamJam, and click on free members, and you can attend on Tuesday. And like I said, I specifically booked that one for later on so that people can attend. And then on Wednesday, I've got Rudy's Psychic Meetup for the basic Sam Jammers and above. And then on Thursday, I've got What's Trending. And Saturday is the premium live stream. I've got Coffee Chat on Sunday. We're all getting together, having fun at Coffee Chat. We had our biggest crowd ever last Sunday. It's not taped or anything, Coffee Chat. I just hang out, do some paperwork, and we just chat. Just like we're hanging out having coffee together. Yeah. Oh, and Ani gave me the 5x5. I hope the picture's really clear too. We put a lot of work into getting a cell booster. And I was getting some good feedback. Just waiting to hear back from Spencer. She's on a bit of a mini holiday. She has a visitor. So she's giving him the Cabo experience. But yeah, she'll be back on track on Monday. I'm going to tell her, hey, pull out on What's Trending, my blab about what Pete Hegseth was doing. Because nobody had any idea. He wouldn't even do a Zoom or anything. He was like, yep, y'all come back to the U.S. We're going to have a meeting at the Pentagon. And I called it. Yay. So like I said, if you want to know the future. Yeah. Martha was saying, I'm new and did not manage to exit before September the bear. Oh, well, yeah. See, I don't, I've been holding since 2017, Martha, and I'm happy for it. A lot of people traded themselves into oblivion, you know. There were a lot of people who missed out. They missed out. Oh, they missed out so badly. You know, I remember so many times people were saying that Bitcoin was going to crash. I remember the hyperwave down. I was like, no, it's going to scream past $10,000. And it did. Screamed past, I think it started at 6,500 and it just screamed past 10,000, overshot to like 12,000. That was awesome. I always knew it was going to go up to at least 85 and kiss 100,000, but I didn't see it. Like they were talking about like 250,000 or Bitcoin being $1 million. I was like, you know, I don't really see that. But hey, you know what? I could be wrong. I've been off by a zero before. And you can just imagine what the rest of the cryptos are if Bitcoin was $1 million. But I'm not seeing that. Let's see. Syrian Music says, hi, Sam. Hope you don't mind me asking a question out of the gate, but there are so many theories about Charlie Kirk. I've seen some convincing videos and theories say he's still alive. Your thoughts? Oh, no, definitely not. Oh, my gosh. His widow's tears were real. And the only information I really got on Charlie Kirk was that he was the halfway point to where the pendulum was swinging. And so actually Creative Reaction, she's one of the Sam Jammers, and she figured out, actually a few other ones came up with it, but she was the first one who posted that February 23rd of 2029 that we would be out of the rapids, I call it. That's what I refer to it. So we should be up to the 100 trillion by that point, and we should be out of the rapids. And you'll have a new president in the United States sworn in for, is it January? It would be January of 2029, right? Yeah. So, oh, well, that just makes sense that you would be out of the rapids. Now, as far as Cascadia goes, I see that there's been a lot of activity on the West Coast. But again, you know, that's the Ring of Fire waking up. We talked about that back in 2022. January 1st, 2022, I had a New Year's review for everybody. And I just talked about when someone asked me, you know, what is going to be like sort of the news story for 2022. And I said, well, you're going to see a lot more earthquakes and volcanic activity, and in places where you're not used to seeing it. And it's the Ring of Fire waking up. And some people indicated, you know, they just thought that it would be, oh, how long is that going to last for? Like 2 or 3 years? I'm not like, no, like 100. I said, this is a geographical or geological change that is going on with the planet. And it's going to make some big changes. And all the more reason that humanity needs to start working together. And the first thing they got to do is they got to get their economy straightened out. And a big part of that is blockchain, which is why I support it. Because, you know, it doesn't make sense to a lot of people that some lady who has second sight is actually, it's almost like being allowed to see the lottery numbers. I mean, you know, that's usually rule number one, no seeing the lottery numbers. Right? Because a lot of people are like, you know, if you could see the future, why? I'm like, because it's not allowed. There are some things that you're just not allowed to see. You know, if I knew everything, well, then I'd be God, wouldn't I? That's right. And I can guarantee you I'm not. Just ask my husband. He'll tell you no. Yeah. I can barely get out of my own way sometimes. At least I'm good at this. Yeah. Keisha wants to know if it's a good idea to leverage your crypto or other assets to purchase a house. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's a good idea. No. Nope. Just take from your profits that you take out, just put the money down for that house with your profits. That's what I would do. There's no shame in renting either. Yeah. I've been renting a Sam Jam location here and there because I mean I'm mobile right now. I don't know where I'm going to land. So I'm not buying nothing. There's no problem with just renting. But you know, if you're looking for a family home and you're looking at being there for a long time, then there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that it really ties you to that country. So, you know, whatever you do, don't buy anything in Italy. That's for sure. Oh my gosh. What a disaster is coming to that place. Oh, I'm hoping that we can at least make it till the summer of 2027. Actually, I think it'll be more like the spring, because I said when the Pope dies, and that was Easter. So it's like, what, April 23rd? I said, start packing. And I'm thinking, okay, well, that's relative to, moving an entire family and household. And at a minimum, that takes a year, potentially 2 years. So, yeah, make sure that you take profits if you're in Europe, because you're going to need to escape that so that you can be helpful to others. Let's see. Hi, Sam. Tom Hanks exposed soon as Trump canceled his award. Yeah. Yeah, he's going to be exposed soon. There's actually a lot of them. You're going to find it because you're just like, most normal people have come on board now that the insanity of these criminals who were parading around as members of the Democratic Party, now that it's been exposed, you think that, like a normal person would go, hey, I think I'm wrong about him. I know a lot of people who've come on board with Trump, especially since there was the assassination attempt. Yeah, guess that date too. I have it over on my Discord. I actually got my friend to send me a text message with the picture of the notepad where I wrote the date on it, July 13th, 2024. I was hanging out with her. It was like in June of 2024. And she was showing me this cute little notepad that she had with a little pen. And I was like, I feel compelled. Give it to me. I feel compelled to write something down. And I wrote it down. I said, I think this is the date of the first assassination attempt. And I just gave it back to her. I said, keep that. I signed it SJJ. And then I got her. And then it was like about July the 5th. The date was coming up soon. And everyone was asking about what date is it for July? And I was like, oh, I got something special there. July 13th. And I told her, I said, send me the picture. Take a picture of it and send it to me. And I posted it on the Discord channel. Yeah, I know. Nothing better than knowing the date to get out of the way, right? But anyways, he wasn't supposed to know about it ahead of time. I'm sure he would have, it's hard to stand up in front of a bunch of people if you know somebody's going to be taking a shot at you with a rifle. Mm-hmm. Are you still bullish on Sonic, former Phantom? Yep, I think that one's okay, Peter. I like Near as well. I've got a little group of cryptos that, other than like the main ones. Now, when I'm in, looking to stash profits, I don't put them in like Phantom or Near or anything like that. I look at Doge, I look at Link, I would look at Solana, one's higher up the list, lower in risk. And risk just means that they're not going like this all the time, or they lay there like going like nothing, right? And we see a lot of cryptos a lot of times that, they don't do anything for like so long and they're just like flat and then they just go parabolic. And everyone's like, oh, I wish I had some. Yeah. Oh, Paul wants to know my thoughts about silver. Okay, so you missed the blab about that. So silver top end, 150, $50 shortly, sooner rather than later. I was thinking around the time that Ukraine and Russia get settled, that silver would be around $50. Thanks to Sam Jammer for posting that question over on the Patreon during a live stream. They know how to post the question so that I can glean what the signposts are. A lot of people ask, what do you think about September? What do you think about December? It's like, I'm really just guessing. When I first started doing this, I gave the people on the other side a calendar. I asked them if they could use it, and it's like, no. But I do get, inspirations. I mean, those of you who are really, really old in the Sam Jam, you remember how I was like so insistent that April 1st of 2019, that there would be a big upside in the market. And I was totally right. I said, yep, we're going to go on a run, a big run. It's going to be a nice upside, April the 1st. And I did a reading with a guy. This is back when I used to do readings. I used to have reading sales. I'd be like, if you buy Link, then send me like $125 worth. And I'll do like a half an hour reading with you. Yes, I remember one year I did like a lot of readings because I claimed that on my income tax, so I had to do up the total on that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I sure did a lot of readings, but it was really great practice for me. And I remember one guy, he wanted to know if he should put the rest of his money into the market. And I was like, I was very annoyed. I was like, it's almost April the 1st. I think it was like March 23rd or something. And I was kind of like, what are you waiting for? He wrote me back. He was like really glad he did it, of course, after April 1st. And you know what? I got to hand it to people. I had like zero track record. I really did. I had like nothing, nada back then. I mean, you had no idea. There's my dog, my great big Rottweiler, my security. Yeah, security detail. He's much less expensive. He eats a lot though and requires a lot of attention and exercise. But that's okay. And it's good having him around. I won't get anybody showing up unannounced. If they do, it'll be because they don't know about our security dogs. Nice to see you, Hugo, from Alberta. It's on my bucket list to go to the Calgary Stampede. I haven't been to one yet. I've passed through the Calgary airport. I had to stop in Calgary one time. I was on my way to Vancouver. I got a direct from Calgary to Calgary. And I remember I showed up. It was Stampede time. Yeah, the airport was nuts. And Rhonda wants to know if I have any insights on it, Australia. Well, you guys are going to be going through it soon. That's why I'm doing some later stuff so that my peeps in Australia can actually weigh in live, and then you're more likely to post questions and have them upvoted over on the Patreon. So anybody who is wanting to attend the free all members, which is free on Tuesday, just trip on over to Patreon and sign up as a free member. Yeah, I've been given samples for free because, try before you buy, right? I think the same when you move places. You should try it out before you move there. That just makes sense. Now, let's see. Elise, do you have an idea when Ethereum will start to go up again? Well, I think that when the market turns around, which is probably going to be like tomorrow or Monday, and I think this will be the last time. Remember I said 4.1 would be like the critical resistance. So it would dip below that so many times. And then once it went past it, and somebody said that the norm is about 7 times and then it'll go up for the next leg up. And I was like, you know what? I'm thinking 5 times. So we're headed for the 5th time that it's going to go past the 4.1. And I think that it's going to run to 5 trillion. And I think that Ethereum will be 5,000 at that point. I know it was almost there before, wasn't it? It was like at 4,700. I can't remember. I don't really watch Ethereum closely. I look at other stuff, some of the newer stuff, like HBAR. Sui's still down below $4. So that's going to be a hit later on. Let's see. How high do you see AVAX, Ethereum, Solana, and Pango going by the year end? Oh, those are great questions. Well, year end. I think by year end, if we can make it to 5 trillion shortly, like in October, 8 trillion is in play, And if we don't make 8 trillion by December, we'll be there before April. It's really going to be based on, well, what is it? The Digital Clarity Act is supposed to be passed on September 30th. So that's going to be good news because that is going to bring in retail. That's what we've been waiting for, We've been waiting for retail. Sorry, guys. I got this piece of hair and it keeps getting in my way. I don't have a hairdresser looking after me, as you can tell from my flat hair. Oh my gosh. If I had someone get a hold of me and do my hair and makeup, you probably wouldn't even recognize me. Oh, well. I'm okay with that. I'm just glad I got hair. As us old girls around the corner of 60 starts to thin a little bit. I'm not going to complain, though. So how do I see Avalanche? Okay, well, it's under $30 right now. That's a really good price. I did think that by the time we were at 8 trillion, it would be hundreds of dollars. So by the end of the year, like around 150. Yeah, it's like a 5-timeser. Because 3 times is sort of like the ones higher up, how they're going to move when you have all those trillions of dollars coming in. So, Ethereum at 4,000 will probably be like around 10,000. And XRP will make it to its $10 to $12 by then. I thought it was going to be September, but I'm like, they keep releasing those tokens. So it's probably going to be delayed a little bit. But still, I have to say XRP was the bull flag. It just said it didn't go to the $10 to $12. I thought the bull flag would take it to $10 to $12. But oh dear, it only went to $3.70. I don't think anyone's feeling too bad who had hundreds of thousands of XRP. Yeah, and Rhonda, just to go back to your question about Australia, like you guys are going to be going through the soup. I'll tell you, it's going to be economic. And it's going to be really terrible for everybody. There's going to be lots of jobs. And really a lot of it has to do with the fact that China is your main trading partner. And there's going to be a lot of suffering involved there. But, the Australians, like, they're tough. They will band together. I don't see it as a country ender. I mean, there's a lot of countries that are never coming back from the abyss they slip into. So let's see. AVAX, Ethereum, Solana. By the end of the year, I was like $1,200 to $1,800, like that range. So for the 8 trillion, yeah, I would say at least 1,200. Pengu is like a 10-timeser. Yeah, so you're gonna see that at a couple of bucks. I liked Pengu way back when people were asking me about it. I was very positive about it, and a lot of stuff I'm like normally stay away from it. It's too high risk, and I always said from early on that you don't have to take high risk for this run. It's going to be really easy to, like I said, I mean, the ones higher up the list, like you're looking at minimum 3 times your money. Because I mean, look at XRP, right? At $10, and overshooting to $12. That's 3 to 4 times your money, taking very little to no risk. And Doge is an easy, 5 to 10 timeser. I mean, look at how high it up is. It's like number 9. And to be able to make like 5 times your money, I mean, even 3 times is really good. When you're that high up on the list, normally you got to take more of a risk. Yeah. I mean, a long time ago, back in 2020, I remember when you had to take it. I mean, look at how far down on the list Theta was when you were getting it at 13 cents and then selling it off at, I mean, some of my peeps over on the Sam Jam, they made, one lady, I think she got the top end, the $14.75, because I wasn't sure about $15. I was like, I don't know if it's going to make it to 15, but 10 for sure. You'll be safe there, And then so she sold some at 10, and then she just sort of rode it up. She said, I didn't get my $15 sale, though. I was like, oh, greedy get you caught, but that's okay. You still did all right. Just get her on the way down. Get rid of that. But for those of you who missed it, I was like, don't worry. Don't worry. When the water rushes in, when the Digital Clarity Act comes in and people are buying cryptos like crazy, you just wait for yours to come around. The number will come around. And, it's going to be the shitcoin run, too. That's coming between now and the end of the year. So if you had like crap coins that you never sold and you want to sell them, you're going to have that opportunity. Yeah. But you know what? You only need 3. Remember that? You only need 3. I always tell people, don't panic. You only need 3. Everything's going to be okay. You don't have to have every single coin doesn't have to be a winner. If you look at your overall picture, I mean, if you put $25,000 into the crypto market, which is, it's a lot of money for something that's extremely high risk. And the worst thing about it is that it's not high risk in the sense that, the coins will go to zero. It's high risk in the sense that you can be hacked and have your crypto stolen from you. And that's why I'm a big fan of, take your profits. If you get Theta at $10 again, oh yeah, I'll be out of that in a heartbeat. I will be out of theta. And I'll put it into something that is a hard asset. Because if it's a hard asset, you don't have to worry about it being taken from you. Oh, thanks again for all the likes, you guys. We're up to almost 200 people live. And just to give my Patreon a little pitch again, it's www.patreon.com/samjam, SAMJAM. And you can trip on over there and just sign up as a free member. And you can be a part of my live stream for free members, which is on Tuesday. Things are moving very quickly. I do a lot of talk about cryptos as well. So we're at the 45-minute point, so I have a few more minutes. Somebody asked me about Polygon and Superfarm. Superfarm, I would probably sell that one off at $2. I'm not a fan of Elio Trades. I think he kind of screwed off on that project. And the time to sell off that was when it was, I think, around $4 or something. Yeah. And Polygon, not absolutely sure about Matic. But again, when the water rushes in, it raises all boats. And hey, we were buying at 2 and 4 cents. I think most people, top end, it was like 10 cents. Hey, what's going on? What are you looking for? Listen, Mom is busy right now. You're going to have to wait. He just wants his Levin. I told you he requires a lot of attention. My security dog. Let's see. Martha wants to get my thoughts on new coins, XPL, Aster, Trillion, and will the multiples sustain in 2025? Oh, I don't know about any of those, Martha. But if you go over to my Patreon and you sign up, and the free members is already set up, so you can. Okay, I'm gonna pet you. I know you can't see him on the camera, except he's further back. Hey, stop it! Yeah, you better come and get him. He's being demanded now. He's all mad. I'm not talking to him. It's like, Mom, you're always busy working. Yeah. Where's my 15-year-old? He's glad. I'm not bugging. All right. So yeah, if you want to go over to and post your question with the different cryptos in it, then I'll have time on Tuesday to go through and look them up and show my screen and give you a blab about them. But I'm kind of running out of time now. We're at 47 minutes. Yeah. What is going on with you? He's being all lovey-dovey, all distracting me now. My great big German Rottweiler. Hey, you, stop that. Okay, go lay down. Go on, go lay down. Down. Okay, he knows what that means. All right. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. In Australia, you have to pay 50% on crypto gains. Ooh. Well, that's because they're greedy. They're going to tax you to death for everything. Yeah. They're very generous with your tax money, you know, with their social programs. Yeah. And Bionic Angel, I hear the UK will have digital IDs mandatory soon. Yeah, you won't be able to work there if you don't have a digital ID. So yeah, they've gone full-blown socialist. They're starting to track everybody, but you know that's because they want to control the masses. It's not going to work out for them though, because Nigel Farage, he's going to get in, and he's going to get in while Donald Trump is the president. I saw that back in 2015 when President Trump won the election. That was the very first time I saw Nigel Farage. I didn't know who he was. And I was like, oh, he's one of the pivotal people of the Great Awakening. And I saw the story of Britain and how he was going to save Britain. He was going to lead Britain out of a very dark time. And it was through his friendship with the President of the United States in his second term. And so when Donald Trump didn't get in his second term back to back, there were some other reasons for that. I mean, I believe now, looking back, I was like, I missed that, but it really needed to happen. People really needed to see the mask ripped off of the Democratic Party and what a bunch of criminals they all are. And now you're seeing like what horrible people they are, all gleeful on the murder, the assassination of one of the most upstanding people in the United States. I mean, anyone who's an American should be proud to say that Charlie Kirk was an American man and represented much of what the American people believe. Yeah. Let's see. What will be the total market cap when X payments go live? Oh, is that what it's going to be called? X payments? And remember, I think Dogecoin is the Google coin, which is why I was buying some of my Doge back. Yeah. Yeah, I got that when it was 10 cents. I was like, yeehaw. That's going to $1 for sure in the short term. And so when X payments come out, we should be at the 8 trillion market cap. Yeah. That's going to be my guess. I know he's registered in all the states in the US right now. So I'm just very excited about it all. Let's see. Hi, Sam, this week. This is from Metab. This week, billions got liquidated off the crypto market, causing heaps of fear and panic. Do you know if the market will bounce back in October? Thank you. Yeah, and you know what? I don't know who they're calling. You know what? It's because you're not in the Sam Jam that there's fear and panic. I know. And you know what? I drop all these bombs, all these truth bombs. Like when everyone was like, what's going on with Pete Hegseth? And I just like named what was going on. And it came true. Oh, for those of you who weren't around, I know Spencer's been on vacation, but you're going to see a few things uploaded to YouTube and to X. And I'm on X Predictions by SJ. So if you wanted to check out my X platform, I'm also giving feedback on there on a regular. Predictions by SJ. Yeah. And I predict a lot of stuff that comes true all the time, like exactly. And one of the things I said in 2019, that I said that James Comey would be the first amongst many that were going to be arrested and charged and arrested for that Crossfire hurricane, the Russian collusion hoax, all that stuff. And I said, oh, they're going to get John Brennan, they're going to get Andy McCabe, they're going to get, I can't remember who all was on the list, but because it was way back in 2019. And then Trump was not reelected in 2020 because the Americans needed to go through hell in order to appreciate what they had. And, and to fight for Donald Trump to be the president, because he has to make some really tough decisions with all of the crap and mess that was left for him to clean up. But yeah, James Comey was supposed to be the first arrested. So I was talking about that earlier. I was like, yeah, but look, when it was the shells on the beach, it was that. I mentioned it. I was like, oh, get the popcorn. He's going to be arrested soon. And I felt like this Christmas would be, we would see the Christmas tree of people who, because I was like, I sort of had a vision of, and I normally just see stuff as it is. I'm not like, I think it was Nostradamus or what was Baba Gang, right? I can't remember her name. The one that was blind. I think she was Polish or so Bulgarian. And she used to speak in riddles. Yeah, and I don't speak in riddles. And there's only been a few times that I've ever seen things that are like representative. I think I can say like I can count on one hand. And one of them was the Christmas tree and I said they're all walking. I said it's like in the shape of a Christmas tree, where you've got like Hillary Clinton at the top, and then you've got like the FBI, the people like in the FBI and in the government, like in Congress and Senate, and it goes, and then you get into the bureaucrats who are higher up, and just more and more people, because you have people like Peter Strzok and all of these people that are going to be arrested and charged for what they did. But yeah, Metham, just back to your, there's all this fear and everything. Look, man, we're going to 5 trillion, then we're going to 8 trillion, and then I didn't really see too much between the 8 trillion and 100 trillion. But again, as I swim closer to the beach, is the way that I describe it. Nice to see Penny from Australia. And okay, the hurricane in the east coast of the U.S. Okay, so I was talking about that on Thursday, and I was talking about North Carolina, but I actually think that 2 storms are going to combine, and there's going to be a third weather, like it's going to be pushing it in. So it's going to be affected by a third storm, but 2 of them are going to combine, and it's going to be the water. It's going to be the flooding. And there's going to be inland flooding. So remember the last hurricane, the last one that just happened and went up the East Coast, I said that it wasn't going to make landfall. Well, I believe that this one is going to make landfall on the East Coast of the United States. And I felt like it was North Carolina. But both North and South Carolina are going to get tons of water, and a lot for that whole area. But as far as, I mean, if I lived in North or South Carolina, I would just say, well, you know what? We need to take a little vacation this week, a little unplanned vacation to another part of the United States. Yeah. Because where I used to live on the East Coast, we would sometimes get hurricanes. And if there was ever anything like a 3 or above, just because of the water, you should probably just get out of the way. Especially a 4, it's like move. But with this one, it doesn't matter. Like, don't, even if they tell you it's only going to be a 2 or something, like, don't listen to them. The amount of water that it's bringing is, I mean, you guys already know how dangerous that can be if there's all kinds of water coming. So yeah, this one's going to make landfall. Okay. And it's going to be bad enough, Shar, that if you live there, you should just, I would just get in my car and make sure you bring all your important documents with you, and special family heirlooms, things like that. Go to a nice hotel somewhere. Let's see. Oh, you want to know about T-Fuel, Count of Money? That's going to run when Theta runs, It's going to do really well. Theta will do well. T-Fuel will, its multiple is going to be higher, just like last time. Let's see. What month will the Great Cascadia earthquake and tsunami take place? Well, I would like to know that too, Derek, but I believe that the volcano, Campe Flegrei, which will trigger other volcanoes in the area. So it's not going to be just Campe Flegrei, but that's going to be the one that kills a lot of people like that. And I feel like that's going to be a minimum of 1 year, possibly 2 years away from now as I get closer. The signpost that I have was the death of the Pope, and then you start packing. And when you're talking about moving a household, you're talking about like a year, possibly 2 years to move your household. So it's not the same as packing for a trip. It's like packing to move away, like forever. So the signpost was the death of the Pope, and then I got another one where they would get a 5.1 earthquake before Campe Flegrei explodes. It's not an eruption like Mount Etna erupting or Vesuvius erupting. It's an explosion. And the entire like caldera, it goes down, and everybody living on that just goes into the lava. It's very scary. I hope people move. I know that they won't, though. Yeah. For me, it's scary because, I mean, I was the one working that stuff out with my daughter. She was like pulling the information out of me. And she was asking me about the population. And I was like, 500,000 people. And guess how many people are in Naples and Pozzuoli together, like the red zone? 500,000 people. So it all fits. And then the volcano started waking up after. And then it had the biggest earthquake it had had in 30 years. I think it had a 4.4. I mean, those types of earthquake, like that's a lot for a volcano. I know. And then I watched just recently, like after I talked about the 5.1, probably about 6 months later, I saw a video on YouTube, and they said that Mount St. Helens they were interviewing people, and they said it had grown really quiet, and then it had a 5.1 that morning. And I don't know how many hours away it was, but the volcano, like the entire side of the mountain, came down. And I was like, that's what I think is with Campe Flegrei, where it's going to be a 5.1. So Cascadia is after that. And I believe that it's after Donald Trump is out of the White House. Before, like early on, I didn't know. Because again, it's just like when you're driving, and when you first put in your Google Maps location, the closer you get, then the maps start expanding out, and you can even see the names of the streets at one point. But, when you're 500 miles away, that's not what you're seeing. It's only when you're getting to the last couple of miles. Just like with the Israel-Iran, like when they bombed Fardo, I only got the information on that just before that the IDF would just borrow, I said B-52s, but who knew? They're called B-2s now. I guess I'm behind in the times. And I said they'll borrow the pilots as well. I said, just like if your mom wanted to go for a drive in your Lamborghini, I mean, you wouldn't let her drive the Lamborghini. You would get someone to drive it for her. Well, the same with the B-2s. So the IDF just borrowed those, I said. And that I also said that the market would just go like that it would just be just a quick one. But when Campe Flegrei goes, I mean, that's going to cause the world to have a lot of turmoil. Yeah. So, and you know what uncertainty does, and that's why it's important to take profits when you can. Like, don't be insane. Like, don't be like, oh, I'm holding on for, it to be worth $1 million, even though you put in like $10,000. It's like, you know what? If it's up at 500,000, then just take out like 100 or 200,000. It's not going to kill you. Greedy get you caught, and you might need to escape too. But yeah, Cascadia, I believe it's going to be after Campe Flegrei and after Donald Trump is out of the White House. Whereas Campe Flegrei, I believe, will happen while he's still in the White House, and we'll be able to direct the American military to help people. Because by then, I mean, they'll have cleaned up their mess in the United States. And that's super important as well, because when you see how many criminals and how many bad actors there are in the U.S., then, yeah. I mean, they went to the Atlanta airport and they arrested like 1,900 people who had like these fake passports and IDs. I mean, that's a huge number of people at the airport just with fake IDs. Oh my gosh. I mean, people have no idea how many people are roaming around the country just illegally. Yeah. Is Peru a survivor? Yes, it is. Peru is a survivor. It's just that it's always been so poor, But hey, if you live there and you have family there and you have a, support system, I mean, and with the explosion at Campe Flegrei, I think that that's gonna really ruin it for Western Europe in particular. Yeah. And it'll be an extinction event for Italy, unfortunately. Let's see. How high do you see Trump's World Liberty financial coin going? I think it'll be a couple $100, hidden ledger. And the reason why I think that is because once cryptos start running, a lot of people will want to be involved with anything, any and all things Trump. Oh, look, I'm already past the hour. I am such a blabber. We're already up to 2:02. And if you give me some more likes, I'll go for 5 more minutes. Oh, look, I'm already up to 115 likes. Do I hear 120 likes? I'm being optimistic. Let's see. Here in Australia, we have, 50%. I thought for some reason, Dean, that it was 40% crypto gains. At one point, Australia will pare that back, though, but unfortunately not soon enough for a lot of you who will be taking profits. When do I see the next crypto winter? Oh, that's like when Campe Flegrei blows. So what will happen is that the market will be up and then it'll go down. Okay, let me just go to the camera like that. Okay, I'm going to do a finger map for you. I'm really good at those. And it'll go down like rather sharply like that. But then what will happen is that people will start moving their money into cryptos because they'll be like, hey, that would have been a good idea to just have those crypto money and cryptos, right? And then so it'll start to, it'll stop going like down, and then it'll go like that, and then there'll be some more fear mongering, and it'll go down a bit more, but then it'll start going up, and it'll start climbing up like this again. So it could take probably, I would say, like 6 months to a year to recover. And I mean, that'll be a bummer because, I mean, if you've already passed like 12 trillion, and a lot of us, I got involved when the market was between 100 and 160 billion. Yeah, I'm not going to let greedy get me caught. Okay, if you had 5,000, what shitcoin should I put that into? I need to make money to get out of Australia. XYO. I would buy XYO. If you could only buy one and you want me to give you one that has a huge multiple. You know what? SUI and HBAR, those are really high up on the list. So, I mean, if you need to get out of Australia, you need more of a guarantee there. How about you split it between them? That way there, you're not putting it all on black or red. Let's see. Will the U.S. have another rate cut before the end of the year? You know what? I called the 0.25% for September. I think the next one will be a half, like a 0.5, like a 0.5%. And then the one after that will be a quarter. So you'll get a whole one, like 100 basis points, they call it. And then the total that'll be down by, like, within 12 months will be 200 basis points. So it's only down 25 basis points, like right now, since, September. But it's going to go like another 175 basis points down. So the next rate cut is 0.5%, and then it'll be a quarter. And then in the next, like the earlier part of 2026 into, August of 2026, between now and then, we'll have gone down by 2 full percentage points in the United States. And inflation is coming to the U.S., but it's going to be a healthy type of inflation, if there is one. It's going to be from wages. So it's going to be because people are making more money. Yeah. Will the markets crash next year during the year of the horse? No, not unless Campy Flagré goes next year. Yeah. And I did think that the Dow was definitely going to make it over 50,000. And that was called back when we were below 20,000. Remember, it fell back and it was below 20,000. I was like, nope, it's not going down much further. And it did go down to like 18,000 something. And then it turned around. And I was like, we're going to run past 50,000. Yeah, definitely over 40. And then as I swam closer to the beach, and we were at like 36 or 38. And I was like, yeah, it's a while away. So we're probably going to make it over 50,000. No problem. So here we are at 46, 47 now. Yeah. So will Australia and New Zealand experience eruptions with volcanoes where the caldera one goes off? Will they? Well, I know that the Ring of Fire is waking up, but I feel more like it's going to be the Italy and that area, because Santorini is also connected, and even though that's in Greece, it's close enough when you're talking about the skies being blackened from ash. How about Yellowstone? Any hits? Not right now. Like Yellowstone might be like 100 years away. If the Americans had not elected Trump for the second election, I know for sure that our creator was pressing the button on Yellowstone. But that wasn't going to happen. I was like, nope, my American friends, they're going to do the right thing. They know what they need to do. The U.S. shall be saved. And with that, not only will Donald Trump be elected and save America, he will save many countries. Do I see him as Gavin as president? I actually felt like he was going to be assassinated. Count to money. Yeah. Again, crazy people abound, especially in California. And the levels of frustration with the lack of action on so many things. And, it's probably like some homeless, mentally ill person who does that. It's just going to be a shock to everybody. So, but he's definitely not going to be next president. He's not even going to be in politics. Next crypto winter is probably in 2029 because of the Smith IUC, plus there are 6 eclipses. Yeah, well, February 23rd of 2029. I mean, we make it to the 100 trillion market point. And I don't know what happens after that. So you still see XRP only hitting $15. No, that's XLM, $15 for XLM. That's by the time the market's 100 trillion. Hey, if we get there early, I'm not going to fight it. Yeah. We'll see how quickly this stuff goes. I mean, I could be off by a zero. I wait and see, I mean, I had set my first sell price for Doge at 25 cents, but I didn't sell until it was 40 cents because it screamed past 25 cents. So I ended up selling my sell price at 40 cents. So I only see XRP hitting $10 to $12 still. But you know what? That's just me. That's the max I see it. I mean, what can I say? Oh, look, I got 142 likes. Thanks so much, guys. Anyway, so remember, if you trip on over to my Patreon, I do have coffee chat tomorrow, which is not taped. We just hang out. And that's for everybody who is on the Discord channel. So if you're $17 tier or above, you get a link to the Sam Jammer Discord. And of course, the more rooms you have access to, because I've got a basic tier where you can actually ask questions. It's the Q&A for Sam. And then I have the plus room, which only the advanced and above members have access to. And then there's the premium rooms. So again, it adjusts all levels based on your budget and your all your Sam Jam needs. And I mean, that changes from time to time as well. I'm happy to help people the best that I can. And of course, while I'm not well known at this point, people definitely have more access to me than they will have in the future. And I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I'm enjoying doing coffee chat, the what's trending twice a week. And like I said, looking forward to Rudy Psychic Meetup on Wednesday. And I hope to see a lot of you people from YouTube over on my Patreon. Because after they gave me a community strike for something that I had predicted that actually came true, it was about the Wuhan virus, that it came from the lab and not from the wet market. And then they gave me a community strike. And then I couldn't reach out to my subscribers who I was giving them the weekly crypto review once a week. They were getting access to the replay. And depending on, it was different tiers and stuff. It was just a couple of dollars a month. But I just shut that down. I was like, you know what? If I cannot talk to my subscribers because they've given me some BS community strike, I just don't want to do business with YouTube. So I said, nope. And I actually closed it all. I said, you can keep your money. I'm not going to have any premium benefits with YouTube because of how you all are. And I just build over on Patreon. And my Twitter account is predictions by SJ. So yes, I do have an X account. So let's see, X, where are you? Yeah. So it is predictions by SJ. And that's the picture that I have. Oh, and be careful if you're over on Patreon. I've been, as new people join up and join the Discord server, I've figured out that, we have hundreds of subscribers, but I figured out that there must be somebody who has a profile on there, but they have this fake Discord account that they've set up. And as soon as people land in the Discord, they're keeping track of that and they're approaching them and they're trying to get them to, they're trying to redirect them to some sort of crypto stacking exchange. So the rule of thumb is with Discord, never accept a direct message and definitely don't think that you're talking to me. Now, I am sending people out a message to say, beware of scammers and don't they're redirecting people over to this fake website and they're stealing their cryptos. And John sent me. He actually just got a invite again recently. And so as you can see, I kind of blew it up there. They use my picture. They have my name there. But if you notice here, there are 2 A's in the Samantha Jane. See? 2 A's, right? So they make like a small adjustment like that so that they can actually steal my picture and pretend to be me. And then they start chatting the person up, making them think they're talking to me. One person they even sent this fake AI. What they did is they took different snippets from some of my live streams and they sent it to the person. And you could tell it was spliced and stuff. But I mean, she thought the message, listen, you know, I don't have a whole lot of time. And I barely have enough time to manage my own cryptos. I definitely don't want to have anything to do with your cryptos other than telling you what I'm seeing for the future for cryptocurrencies and calming people down when they're all worried about the markets and, oh, everybody's all worried. I'm not worried. The Sam Germers, we're not worried, right? I know that people are getting a little bit impatient, but I'm like, hey, do you got somewhere you got to be? I mean, I'm hanging in there. So anyways, like I said, just keep in mind that if you ever get a message from me, someone claiming to be me, it's not me. I don't have time. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in having you send your cryptos anywhere. I'm not interested in having like some trading group or, they'll give you some reason, just like catfishing. I mean, when you watch those catfish shows and you find out like how the person always had something happening, why they couldn't, meet the person. And it becomes ridiculous at one point. And by then they've sent them like $50,000 or $80,000. So, I mean, it's a real thing, right? And you feel bad because they've stolen somebody's picture and their likeness. And that person has nothing to do with them giving their money away to them. And I always thought it was great when they would come on like the Dr. Phil show or whatever program it is when they find the picture. Like Dr. Phil was really good at always getting the person whose picture had been stolen. And so that person would accept, like they would see them and they would accept that they had been taken advantage of. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Susan. Hey, I put my mind at rest as well. And you know how the whole Yellowstone thing came up is that there's a gentleman who actually he had really good second sight. Like I can't say that I've met too many people who were, who were good at it like that. And he didn't operate as a medium or anything, but he told me he had this dream he said the Chinese were invading the United States and they were rappelling from helicopters onto the roof of the White House. He goes, and I was up there on the roof and I was, shooting them. And he actually did work at the White House at one time for the administration, just the one before the Trump administration came in. And I credit him actually with getting me to start my Patreon channel. I hadn't even heard about it before, but he really encouraged me to do that. And I do believe that he was divinely inspired by our Creator to push me to do that because, it was something that I didn't really want to do because I don't like being on camera and blabbing for everyone to see. I certainly didn't operate as a medium before I had my own business and worked in finance. But he asked me, he goes, is America going to be invaded and taken over by the Chinese? And I said, oh, no. I said, only if they don't elect Donald Trump for his second term, that's going to happen. And one of the reasons why America would be in such a weakened state is because Yellowstone would have exploded and, killed a lot of people, wrecked the environment, wrecked a portion of the United States. And then the Chinese would use that as an opportunity to invade. Because, the whole trade thing that would keep them from fleecing America and drugging America with fentanyl and all the terrible things happening, all of that stuff would not have been stopped either. I said Yellowstone will blow and the Americans will be delivered unto their enemies. And the world, it will become a very dark place, but that is not going to happen. Is that I know which choices. Future has options. And I always explained it that it's sort of like so when you look back, you see the past, and that is what has actually happened, right? But there's like you go right or you go left, right? Do you stay with that person and marry them? How many children do you have? Where do you live? The choices you make. Or are you going to go this way, right? are you going to go on and do that post grad and meet someone else and live in a totally different country? And, we have different options. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So freebie. Hi, Sam. There's a lot of citizens frustration building in Victoria, Australia with the idiot government. Do you have any political blabs for us? Well, the reason I'm doing the later ones freebie is because I want my peeps in Australia to start throwing those questions at me. I had a little blab earlier about that the crypto gains tax will eventually be lowered. Not soon enough for a lot of you who will be taking profits, but it would be lowered to around 20% in order to keep people, because a lot of people will be just illegally leaving Australia and opening up accounts elsewhere, and they're just not claiming their crypto funds at all. So that's why Australia will have to taper down their taxes, because a lot of people would be like, screw you, we're just leaving. We made $10 million. We're not giving you $5 million. We're going to this other third world country who will welcome us with open arms, or the United States, where it's all tax-free. The cryptos are tax-free. We can buy stuff with it. So Australia will be forced to do that. But in the meantime, like I said, because China's melting down, it's going to take Australia with it, unfortunately. So batten down the hatches. Interest rates are going to go up. They'll put them down first, but then they'll lose control of interest rates. They'll start to go high. So, if you can pay down as much of your house as possible. I know a lot of people, they got to make sure they don't go big with any real estate purchases. Like if you can only afford 800,000 for a place, like just get the 800,000. Like don't stretch it to 1 million or 900,000. And then if you're able to put 10% down every year, because I know with my mortgage that I originally had, that you're allowed to put up to 10% every year down. And so that after, if you locked it in for 5 years, after 5 years, you'd have 50% of your mortgage paid off, plus whatever payments you made. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so you've held over 12 months and capital gains is half. Okay, good. I thought I told the person, I think Dean was the one who said that it was 50%. I was like, oh, well, that's, like in Canada, for example, you're going to pay 40% if you're trading, right? But most of us, we don't do that. We just buy and hold. Yeah. All right. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys over on Patreon. And if you decide to join up before attending the free members, which is on Tuesday, but you got to be a free member if you're going to get the notifications. So everybody can attend on Tuesday, and it's a later one as well. So my Aussie friends, my friends from New Zealand, all those folks, because about 8% of my subscribers are from Oz. So I wanted to start doing some more just grabbing a couple of more that were later on in the day. And that's why I did this later than normal YouTube, because I wanted to be able to get some questions answered, because you're going to be headed for a hard time, but don't worry. I'll be right there with you. All right. Bye for now.